If they could take third place from this competition, Sweden, that would be quite an achievement and quite an improvement on the way they've started. Wahlberg to get things going for Sweden to Sandberg. And that's why it's so important to be the last team to score in a quarter, because you'll start, and so it's like scoring 2 goals in a row if you can.
No, the start actually is determined by the arrow. The arrow on the table determines who's going to start the next quarter. But Sweden have done well. They've pulled out a 2-goal lead now, and I still expect Canada to come through eventually. But I definitely predict that lots of people in the sin bin, and there we go. Thank you very much, Tobias.
And the lineup's just a reminder there. You can see Dave Wilsey inbounding it, and he gives it to Hirschfield. Canada also have Hickling, who's on the ball just now, and long it goes to Jason Crone, who will take it in for Canada. Sweden has Sandberg and Hjert and Wahlberg and Janssen on the court.
It did take me about 12 years to understand the jump ball rules and everything that happened around that, so don't feel too bad, Andrew.
Never feel too bad. The next jump ball we do know will go to Canada. The arrow's pointing at them. Anyway, Hjert here. Good thump coming in from Crone, but he gets the ball away nicely to Sandberg on the charge. Dave Wilsey, big powerful chest pass there, gets it all the way upfield to Crone, and that's what he does. He sits very often in the opposing half, waiting for a pass like that.
Yeah, it was a great pass. I could see Crone drawing Mikael Wahlberg to one side of the court, opening up that middle, and very effectively taken.
Wahlberg to Hjert, Janssen clattering into Crone, and Janssen now chasing back to cover to try and get away rather from Wilsey, or to occupy him as Hjert goes through, and Garrett Hickling is down again.
Well, and a spin goal against Stefan Janssen. He doesn't seem very happy. Certainly unnecessary between the goals.
So Janssen into the bin.
Far end of the screen. Yeah, we just saw a little bit, and yeah, it's unnecessary, and it spins Garrett out, so they're going to have to defend with 3, which is going to be tough for them.
That was fine. Sandberg and Hirschfield, but out of vision, Janssen was doing bad things to Garrett Hickling, so he sits on the sidelines. Canada attacking 4 against 3, and Dave Wilsey goes all the way himself, and just to make sure, Jason Crone puts in a good hit. There's Mikael Wahlberg, one of the .5s, but he's got good long arms. Sandberg has power in his arms and just lobs it nonchalantly upfield, and Thomas Hjert in again. So Sweden with that 2-point lead at the moment. Sandberg coming in hard, and Jason Crone, good pass long again from Wilsey, and Hirschfield gets in.
Yeah, it was a good pass because Thomas Hjert was chasing up. He knew what was going to happen, and chasing hard, but the pass was in front of him, and Canada scored.
Wahlberg spotted Janssen well, and Sandberg just easing through in 3rd gear ahead of Wilsey.
Even there, Wilsey just slows Sandberg down.
Oh, and could have been a bit painful there. Crone going down, hitting himself on the side of Wahlberg's chair.
So that's 3 spins for Stefan Janssen. I don't know whether the referees will take a dim view, and one of these may become a flagrant, which would be a much more severe foul.
just the aftermath. The contact had already happened, and Janssen is in the bin again. And so Canada deciding to ring the changes. Now, Jason Crone had a word with Janssen before he went off there. Jason Crone, who's taken down by Janssen, so he came across to the penalty box and barked a little bit of something at Janssen before he headed off. I
don't think Janssen will mind too much about that. I'm sure he's been barked at a few times.
Forward comes Whitehead to take the straightforward score for Canada. Back on comes their bad boy Janssen. Sandberg straight through for Sweden to re-establish that 2-point lead. A reminder of the players on the court now for Canada. Ian Chan on the ball now, and he tries to get it along to Patrice Simard. Mike Whitehead is there as well, and Yared Funk. Here's Janssen from Wahlberg. Janssen takes a hit from Simard, gets it away to Thomas Hjert. And Hjert still going, then sees Sandberg. And Sweden matching, more than matching Canada at the moment.
They're playing very well. They're really quite composed when they're getting out. Very nice pick and rolls for each other. They seem to have a system that they're working to. And Canada don't have any answers at the moment.
It's far cleaner and more polished and tidier professional performance. And there's the
timeout from Canada there. Couldn't get an inbound. No give go for Mike Whitehead with Yared Funk and Ian Chan, being doubled out of the game. So
Sweden working well in defence as well as attack.
Yeah, and I mean you've got to play a whole game really. The more pressure you put on defence, the easier offence is. So I've been very impressed, I have to say, with Sweden. Surprised but impressed.
Depth up the game. Sandberg taking high fives from the rest of the squad as he goes off. He's been replaced by another 3.5 in PG Ullman. A common switch for Sweden. Little hand in there from Ullman on Whitehead, but no foul. Whitehead coming forward.
And with all these reaches that Sweden are doing, when Canada on offence, it's not too big a penalty, but the transition, so Thomas Hjert now in the sin bin, he's stuck there. Let's see if Canada can make something, not only score the goal, but put a little bit more pressure on defence when Sweden do get the ball.
So after the timeout, Simard into Whitehead. Again, Ullman getting some pressure in there. In comes Wahlberg as well, a cry of space from the Canadian bench. Whitehead looking for Simard there, and Chan. This is good work by Sweden. Ullman stretching up a big meaty arm. Eventually Whitehead gets it to Chan, and through goes Ian Chan, and just takes up a few more seconds. A bit of concern for Kevin Orr in discussion with his backroom staff. Janssen just bounces it. Oh, it's gone a bit loose.
Well, quite interesting little passage of play. We saw a bump pass from Mikael Wahlberg. Really getting some distance on there. Not sure why Stefan Janssen didn't try and hit the ball in himself. Thomas Hjert just picking the ball up and calling a timeout as he seemed to be hitting the cone before he would have scored the goal.
Just a reminder, hitting the cone is out.
And if we remind the referees that the cone has not been moved back. Somebody remind the referees? No.
Wahlberg looks for Ullman, who has to work hard to get that, but Hjert now will have a more straightforward crossing of the line, and Sweden's lead is back to 2. Whitehead, there are the cones which mark the side of the goals, the key area, and Chan long from him to Simard, Patrice Simard in to reduce it to 1 again.
So that bump pass that Mikael Wahlberg did before, that can really spread play out, and they've done it again.
Just gives him a bit more distance, and Janssen has it. Oh, a double thump comes in from Whitehead and friends.
I think very interesting tactics really from Sweden, because they didn't see that in the first half. You thought, you know, does Wahlberg trust himself for those bump passes? And he obviously does.
So Wahlberg waiting, thinking, and then finding PG Ullman, and Whitehead trying to shove him out, and Chan coming in, but before Ullman heads for the sidelines, he gets it over his head to Hjert. It's good work by Sweden. Simard was in the bin. And the longer this match goes on and Sweden are in front, or certainly close to Canada, the more pressure Canada will feel, because of course they had that comfortable victory. As Simard goes in, the more pressure they'll feel, because they'll feel they perhaps deserve third place, but you get what you deserve in sport, and Sweden are rising to the occasion here. Wahlberg looking, offers that chest pass to Hjert. Chan is back quickly enough, and now Hjert surrounded. Ullman now comes steaming in. He was trying to occupy Funk, and Hjert again. Still 15 seconds left on the scoring clock. The ball is loose though, and Canada have it. An invaluable turnover it might prove to be.
Yeah, they got the turnover. Ian Chan was turned around, so didn't have vision up court. Probably waiting, just hoping that another Swedish player was going to contact. But when that didn't actually happen, he had to call a timeout. Here we go, hands from Mike Whitehead. And Ian Chan turned around, unable really to get any effective passing off.
You can see there the work in all departments though by Sweden. Lost the ball there. They're fiercely competitive and forced Canada's hand, and there the mistake comes in. Whitehead and Sandberg has it.
Yeah, that's what we call about transition, offense, defense, and the quicker you react, if you can react quicker than the opposition, you'll gain the advantage. You'll get these 50-50 balls more than they will.
Whitehead then, here it comes in, and the hands coming in. So Whitehead just sends it long, massive throw from him, and Trevor Hirschfield has it, and has the goal.
Yeah, Tobias Sandberg caught in a very bad corner there, so it calls for the inbound.
And takes it with the 1-2 with Wahlberg. Lobs it over to Hjert, who goes long to Janssen. It is very long though. Will he get there? Yes, he will. Good pace from Janssen. He did a little lap of honour in front of his team there, watching all the way. And now Sweden pressing so hard on Whitehead. Madel is on though for Canada and calls for timeout, and Sweden seem a little bit nonplussed with things.
I think Canada have no timeouts, so it's a turnover. They've run out of timeouts. Sweden still have 2 left.
And there perhaps Madel again, a little bit of experience, not knowing that the timeout situation, but Sweden really are looking very, very impressive at the moment. And so fired up as Hjert has it. Madel and Whitehead and Funk surround him. Hjert and Wahlberg wasn't aware of it. Can Sandberg get it? No. Whitehead has it for Canada. And Sandberg and Hjert in a fairly fierce discussion there, teammates.
Well, what an exciting game we have now. Canada really responding with aggression of their own. And, well, I think this game is in the balance. I predicted Canada, but well, let's see.
Hirschfield, risk going there with the long arms of Wahlberg stretching up to Whitehead, but Whitehead gets it and sends it to Madel, and he will nibble away at the clock a little bit again. In he goes, and Sandberg comes back on. No way through at all there, so he'll have to go and inbound it because his way was being barricaded. So now Canada's turn to pressure, but Hert comes back and gathers that well for Sweden. And look at the work being done by Whitehead and by Hirschfield. Sandberg tries to get away himself.
Yeah, very effective work. Trapped them low down on the baseline there, and Sandberg wasn't able to get out.
Replacement wheel needed for Zach Madel.
The timeout situation, sorry Andrew, was Canada have obviously burnt all 4 of theirs. Sweden have 1 more left, so if Sweden burn their final timeout, then there's no more for either team. I can see Coach Benoit has called coach's timeout. Good time to regroup the troops. 1 goal lead.
So much good work has been done by Sweden. They wouldn't want to let it slip in this third quarter. There is Kevin Orr just passing some changes which are going to be made for Canada. I can see Ian Chan waiting to come on. I was noticing one player in the Canadian squad, Travis Murao, who hasn't played at all in any of the games, sitting on the sideline.
I was also thinking another Canadian under a brown blanket there is Fabien Lavoie, who's
not played much.
He's a big player in the game, and haven't seen him much. He's one of the paciest out there. Not looking very happy. Not sure why he's not being used. Maybe give others a chance. Maybe not feeling so well. Who knows?
And there's the number 12, Travis Murao, who has done nothing. Perhaps he's been a good morale officer for the side, but he certainly hasn't had any court time. It's coming in from Janssen or Whitehead, gives Sandberg a little bit of space, and Sandberg tries to get past Chan and past Funk, and gets that ball away to Hert.
So Sweden doing very well just to get over that halfway line. Tobias Sandberg knows that there will be Swedish options just sitting probably a metre beyond the halfway line, just making sure that they can get the ball over the half within the 12. And then Patrice Simard, maybe in frustration, reaching in. Dave Woods, the British referee, calling for a contact foul.
Wahlberg just throws a little dummy with his eyes and gives it to Janssen. Over he goes, back on comes Patrice Simard. So 90 seconds, 93 remaining in this third quarter, and Sweden 2 up. They've maintained their advantage that they had at the start of this quarter. Whitehead takes it short from Simard. He's such a bustling figure when he gets the ball, Whitehead. But a steal by Sweden. Well done by Hert and Sandberg. Janssen is long, and Sweden will stretch the lead to 3. Fumble and frustration from Patrice Simard.
No, a lot of these Swedish players have very, very long arms. We've got a little tip from Stefan Janssen to prevent the ball coming in. Mikael Wahlberg's had a few little tips and fingers and got a turnover from Mike Whitehead. They sit low in their chairs, but when they reach their arms up, they can cause a lot of damage.
Simard looking for Whitehead, and he sends it immediately long for Ian Chan, who is in acres of space. And And that will haul Canada back within 2. Wahlberg inbounds it to Janssen. Geert is there. And Geert Simard puts in the hit, but Simard heads straight off to the bin.
Yeah, I think that was worth a try. He was on the halfway line. If he'd managed to sim in just a little bit less and maybe turn him back over the halfway line, that would have been the turnover.
Just explain, Justin, why that is an illegal hit as opposed to other switch arms.
Well, essentially it's dangerous if it's from behind. The chairs are so tippy that if you hit them from behind, most often or not they'll spin and fall over. So that's been deemed dangerous. Anything from the front, that's fair game.
Well, a good square hit from the side is okay.
Yeah, they talk about behind the axle. It's often hard to judge for a referee, but you can sort of just judge it from how the chair reacts, how violently it spins, and that's what the referees will look at.
And Chan there calling for a timeout.
No, I think it was actually contact foul from Thomas Geert.
Correct. I'm just testing it at this stage of proceedings,
Thank
Justin.
you very much. I'm also looking on the Canadian bench and talking about Fabien Lavoie. He's warming up. So maybe we'll see him in the 4th quarter. Maybe they have been holding back Canada in terms of one of their big guns. I think this 4th quarter is going to be some fireworks.
Well, back to within 2 points. Canada, 30 seconds to go. There is Lavoie on the left, alongside Patrice Dagenet. So Sweden keen to score the final score of this quarter and perhaps take a 3-point lead into the final 8 minutes. Geert, Sandberg, the clock down to 10 seconds, the scoring clock, or the clock for the half. For the quarter, rather, Sandberg decides to go in now, and not enough time for Canada to score again.
Yeah, Sweden have had time to get back. Canada won't score from here. So it looks like a 3-goal lead going into the 4th quarter.
Chan just lobs it long as the clock goes dead. The hitter sounds.